Spellbound is a fairy tale-inspired actual play D&D podcast. It follows the adventures of Princess Theia, the human sorceress, played by Lydia.r.miller.
I don't know, I'm just over here cooking a fish.
Delaelia, the elven ranger, played by Kelsea Botwinick-Haruza.
Can you hear a floofing?
Feliks, the gnome fighter, played by Rebecca Munoz.
Like, she'll be like, oh, I was so excited, and now I'm just disappointed. Title of your sex tape.
And me, your DM, Emma Carter. Hello, hello. Welcome back, listeners. I hope everyone has had a productive, safe, insightful week. Whether you're returning to your full-time job out in the real world, protesting systemic racism, or both. Maybe you're still home, taking care of your family, or working from home. Maybe you're throwing yourself into social justice and or creative projects. Wherever you find yourself today, I would like to extend a blessing to you. I'm not really a religious person, but there's a lot of big things going on right now. So wherever you find yourself today, don't forget to take some time for yourself. On that note, just a reminder, COVID-19 is still a thing, so please don't forget to wash your hands often and wear your mask when you go out in public. It's a courtesy to those around you and to those you love. Just so you have some context as to where our heads were when we recorded this episode, I'll let you in on a little secret. The Spellcast and I are actually a few episodes ahead of you. The episode you're about to listen to is the first half of a session we recorded on May 7th, well over a month ago. Quick warning, you might want to press pause if you are listening to this around any little ones who love Santa Claus. When we last left our heroes, they just defeated a pair of poachers trying to smuggle a baby owlbear and a pseudo-dragon out of the forest. While Feliks and Princess Theia slept, Delaelia was visited by the Woodward with a summons from her mentor, the reclusive druid Waheia. What lies ahead for our heroes? Have they abandoned their quest to rescue Dashing? Let's find out. I will see you in the story.
I'm going to make a status real quick on Facebook that we're all playing this together right now. I have to do it before I forget.
Tell them I'm on my period.
Me too.
That's literally how I made my mom tell me about the Tooth Fairy, is I just told her I already knew, and she was like, God damn it, Kelsea.
Did you cry?
No.
Okay. I cried about Santa Claus.
I did too, but that's because I didn't have a choice in learning that he wasn't real.
I still believe in Santa Claus.
It's one of the problems with having a twin sister. Alyssa got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and she saw my dad putting presents under the tree. And she came back to bed and like shook me and woke me up. And she was like, Santa's not real, it's Dad. And I was like, why would you do that? And I started crying. I was like, why would you? And so the next morning was so awkward because my dad didn't know that we knew. It's all a sham.
This is a lie.
That's really sweet.
It was hilarious. Like,
My family still thanks Santa Claus when we open up our stockings.
Aww.
My brother is big on tradition. So, like, if anybody's like, thanks, Mom and Dad, he's like, what did you say? And we're like, thanks, Santa Claus.
So,
30.
Our kids believe in Santa and the Easter Bunny and everything else.
When you say your kids, do you mean your cat and your dog?
Yes.
I'm offended that we stopped talking about periods. Just
more periods.
The minute we recorded.
No.
Vaginas, periods.
Periods are, okay, since we're talking about it, I actually started using a menstrual cup this time. It was my first time.
They're so good.
They're good when they're good, and when they're bad, it's bad. Like,
that's also true.
The first couple days I was like crying because it kept leaking, and I was like, you have one job. Your one job is to give me any relief from my hemorrhaging twat right now, and instead I'm like taking trust and like up several floors from my bathroom, and it's like, oh nope, I guess it's not in enough, and then it's like in my white chair. Like,
have to make sure you get it around your cervix. There's like a learning curve, and they don't like you have to get your hands all up in there. And
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
pleasant at first, but you do get used to it.
I finally just like
Yeah.
took a shower because obviously too, when you're on your period, your body changes. So my cervix
Mhm.
was all over the place and it not facing, not just pointing down politely. Like it was like
Mhm.
definitely sideways. So I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
cool, this is great. But we're good now. Today was great. Last night was great.
Good.
But I was like, I'm just gonna spend a full 30 minutes in the shower and just figure this out. I'm getting this. It's not besting me, you silicone son of a bitch.
Sorry.
This episode brought to you by Ant Flow.
So last we saw our heroes, you had taken a long rest at the poacher's campsite. After taking down Erickson and Aksher, the sprites came to aid you, and they tied Aksher up, and you guys put Erickson in the cage, and the sprites said that they would take care of them. So Feliks and Theia, you both took a long rest. So you have all of your hit points back and all of your spell slots back. And Delaelia meditated, and I believe what it happened was Delaelia could meditate for 4 hours and get the same amount of rest, and so she stood guard for the last 4 hours while you two were resting. And while you two were asleep, Delaelia received a visitor. The Woodward came with a message from Waheia. I just want to make sure I'm saying it right because we're about to say it a lot, maybe. So Waheia delivered a message through the Woodward asking you all three of you, to come see them at their home. So it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon because you took your long rest during the day.
You had a siesta.
You took a siesta, that's right. So it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Princess Theia, while you were taking a nap at some point during the siesta, you have a dream. During your long rest, Theia, while you were sleeping, you have another dream. It starts similar to the last dream you had, with flashes of recent events. You see Dashing staring down two jackal-wares. Then you see him crumpling to the ground and being carried away. You see Duke Roger fighting the other jackal-ware, telling you to run. And then you're running through a forest with your companions. As you run, the dream starts to shift, and you see through the trees up ahead of you a looming figure on the horizon. As you draw closer, you realize it is a giant stone temple surrounded by overgrown wildlife and covered in vines. At the very top of the temple is the head of a wolf carved into the stone. On the wolf's forehead, you see a symbol. It looks like a triangle, like a pyramid, made up of 5 lines, each one getting progressively shorter. And just as all of this registers in your mind what you're seeing, you suddenly hear your brother give out a terrified scream, and then you wake up.
Oh,
So she wakes up in her tent, and that's your dream.
that's a terrible dream. I'm gonna burst out of my tent and find Delaelia because I want to get a move on. Delaelia? Delaelia?
We have had a visitor in the night.
What? We had a what?
We've had a visitor. Yes. We need to go somewhere.
What? Where? Wait, I thought
Here.
we were going to get my brother.
We are, and the good news is, I think that this person may have some help for us.
Okay, I just had a really scary dream. I'm honestly concerned about how long it's taking us to find him. I
Are
mean,
you
what
okay?
Huh?
Are you okay?
I mean, yeah, I'm okay. I just don't know if he is okay. I mean, he was hurt when he got dragged off, and then I had this weird dream, and there was this wolf temple thing, and then he was being chased by jackal-wares, and the Duke was there, and I was running, and you think they can help us?
I do, and my concern, my lady, is that there is something. This isn't a very straightforward situation. I don't feel like any creature in any place would kidnap someone besides humans. Humans kidnap people. Other than that, I don't understand what the motive is. There's something else going on. And I think that the three of us walking blindly into it is not going to be effective in helping save your brother.
Okay, I will trust you because you seem to know how stuff works, and I have never been outside of my castle. So, well, I mean,
Well,
I've been outside my castle. I just you know you know what I mean.
just
It's
not the walls outside of your castle. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So just while we're all here, what does anyone have any insight on this situation at all?
I'm not
No.
too familiar with. Should we roll? I'm not too. I don't think Felix would. Felix wouldn't know anything about any
Wait,
temples.
did I already check in? I already checked in with my mom about jackal wares, right? And it didn't work out.
Yes.
But I could check in with her about these elves.
Which elves? Delaelia's people?
Delalia's people, the people we're gonna go see. Is that too much of a stretch?
No. You can roll. So roll a d10.
Okay. God, what the heck? I have yet to roll anything but a critical fail when trying to check in with my mom. I'm starting to think that she doesn't want me to know anything.
Oh no! So yeah, Theia, you don't recall anything in your memory. You don't recall anything in your memory about your mother writing about elves. And just to give this a little context, Theia, we talked about you having a journal that used to belong to your mother. My question for you is, do you think that I'm going to ask you, where do you think Theia keeps that journal? Because the answer will determine whether or not you have it with you now, seeing as you left the palace in a hurry.
I mean, if I had the wherewithal to grab the necklace, which I am still wearing, my guess is I probably grabbed the journal as well. Is it a big journal or is it like small enough to fit in a pocket?
It's small
Because
enough to fit in a pocket.
Okay, I have pockets in my dress, so I would have probably put it in a pocket.
Okay. So I'm going to say that you probably would you say that Theia keeps that with her pretty much at all times?
Yeah.
So Theia, you keep your journal with you at all times. You keep it in your pocket. And I think part of why you're having a hard time is because when you have read through this journal before, the way that the layout of the journal is laid out in a way that it seems like your mother maybe didn't write continuously. Like she would write about little things like, oh, today Theia took her first steps, or oh, today Dashing and Theia, I took them to the theater and we saw this play. She wrote a lot about the domestic side of life and what she did with you, but there are also chunks of the journal where it doesn't seem like anything was written, and so it almost seems like she just flipped to a random page and started writing. So I think part of why you're having a hard time right now is that most of what you've read so far are accounts of your everyday life, and less so accounts of any adventures she may have had. That is what you know as of the last time you looked at your journal.
Okay, that makes sense. I am a little hurt that I can't seem to roll to like check in with my mom, who is my idol. It's fine.
I promise you, when you do roll a 9 or a 10, you will get an answer. I promise you, it's just the dice and not me being mean. I promise.
It's fine. It's fine.
Like Delaelia or Feliks, if anyone, actually, if all three of you want to roll maybe a history or a religion check, anything that, because Theia has just told you about this dream that she had, if you want to roll something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to roll history because Felix did read a lot of books. 18.
Hey. Anybody else want to roll?
12 for Delaelia.
Whoa!
Hey!
Wait, I
She
can't
has an
see it. It's
education,
underneath.
Was that a
motherfuckers.
nat 20?
Yeah.
Was it? I can't see
Yeah,
it.
you rolled a nat 20. You got a 23.
Woo!
Awesome. So yeah, okay. Let me
Tell me what I know.
pull up my information. I'm gonna go with because Delaelia lives in the forest and because Feliks and Theia rolled so high, I'm just gonna give you all the same information so you're all on the same page. Theia, once you explain this dream out loud, I think it finally registers with you what what some of these images may have been. So there are gods in this world. Some people call them the old gods. Um, Different kingdoms and different civilizations might call them by different names. Maybe the gnomes have different names for them than the orcs do. But you would know that the goddess of nature, the huntress, her name is Kildora. Kildora, like Kill and Dora. Her name is Kildora. She is the goddess of nature, and the wolf is the symbol most associated with her. She has been known to be the patron of the wilderness, the earth, animals, plants, trees, the hunt, protection, druids, dryads, beasts, rangers. Um, in in tales, she is often depicted either as a wolf or riding a wolf or as a dryad. Different cultures, different stories. Um, she's often associated with or takes the form of a white wolf.
Okay.
Okay, so do I know of a temple to Kildora or anything like that in my area?
Just roll a straight up intelligence check. Oh no.
So it's an unnatural one.
So no, unfortunately, while you know of the goddess Kildora, Delaelia is not aware of any specific temples for her in the woods.
If
But
only there was an aged mentor that we could ask. Bum, bum, bum.
Is that who we're going to see?
Yes.
oh yeah, and Feliks and Delaelia, I imagine that you guys have come out and you're having some breakfast, some like afternoon breakfast. You will see standing not too far away from the campsite. Maybe you didn't notice them at first because they look very much like a tree, but there is a woodward, like WOODWARD. It's a tree person shaped like a humanoid, but their skin is entirely made of bark. They have leaves and vines and moss growing all over them. Think Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Do they
they've
have a
just been
name?
standing there. I haven't given them a name other than Woodward, but if you have an idea for a name of them, since Delaelia would know the Woodward,
I feel like it wouldn't have a name that I know,
that's totally fine. We can just
right?
it can be the Woodward.
Okay.
Because it's like, do animals have names? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
Well, like
they're
the Fearbulg, like Master Woodward is fine
yeah.
for me.
Ooh, I like that. Master Woodward. So Master Woodward is standing there patiently, just watching.
Is that a friend of yours, Delaelia?
Yes, this is our messenger, the messenger that came to me while you were sleeping.
Is
They,
that messenger a tree?
this messenger,
E-
Master Woodward, this is Princess Theia and Lord Feliks.
Oh,
Lord?
just Lord?
Just
No.
Felix?
No,
Mr. Feliks.
Sure. Hi.
Mr.
Do a
Safe
lot of
Travel, if we're gonna get real,
yeah.
Hero Feliks. There we go.
Just Felix. Let's just keep it at Felix.
Keep it in your pants. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not put any labels on me. I certainly haven't earned any. Do a lot of trees in the forest walk around like that?
Yeah, this is a new experience for me as well. Nice.
You've never seen a Woodward before.
No, I haven't
I
seen
don't know.
a lot.
I stick to mostly open roads, so no, I
Okay,
haven't really
well-
seen a tree cross the road before.
Can
A
it talk?
Woodward is
A Woodward is Delaelia. You would know it is a humanoid being or an elven being, probably most likely, that became. It's similar to a dryad, but a little bit different. It is a being that has become one with a tree for the purposes of protecting the forest. So a forest guardian. So far, you've encountered many. You would be learning as you go along that many of the inhabitants of the forest see it their job to protect the forest. So they are
another
a
one.
protector of the forest.
Yep, I say that.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. I feel like I've read a couple of old stories about like heroes talking to trees and stuff like that, but I thought that was just kind of just poetic nuance. So, wow. Felix grew up in a valley sort of thing. So there were some trees, but like not enough to warrant any, I would say, dryads or anything. Like it's a little more industrial.
Well, the trees are important members in my home.
The woodward looks down at you, Feliks, and they raise their hand and wave.
Feliks waves back, just like, this is so cool. Like,
all right, my friend.
he's gonna kind of try and keep Ramsey from nibbling on any leaves growing off of the thing's kneecaps. Like, that's a friend. We don't eat friends, Ramsey.
Fish are friends, not
food.
All right, my friends, what would you like to do next?
I would like to follow Delaelia and our new tree friend to someone who can help me find my brother.
Are we ready to depart?
I'm ready if you're ready.
Let's hit the road. I think we've done as much damage as we can do here.
Oh, can I grab some of that second breakfast, 11sies, whatever it is you're having?
Get that roast pig.
Yeah, help yourself.
Thanks. And then I'm ready to go.
All right.
All right, so you have some second breakfast, some 11sies, and you pack up what items you decided to take with you since you were traveling light beforehand. So, Delaelia, you know this part of the forest. It's going to take a while to get to Waheia's home. So they live a little further outside. They live right at the base of the mountain between where the river forks right here. So if you want to travel, you guys are probably like, no, wrong way. You guys are probably like right about here. And if you want to go to Waheia, it'll take a while to get there because you're traveling on foot, except for Ramsey who's traveling on Ramsey. So if you leave now, you will probably arrive there by dawn.
Oh, today? Cool.
Yeah.
So it's like afternoon, isn't it? Because
yeah. So you would. It's about 4:00 now. So you would arrive about 4 in the morning. It's like a half day's journey there by foot. So it'll.
Do I
take
feel
you
that it would be appropriate for us to arrive at that time?
Yeah, that wouldn't be out of the ordinary. And I think Waheia is the sort who actually probably rises with the dawn anyway.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So, and please let me know if I'm ever saying their name wrong.
Okay.
I have to say something repeatedly or hear it repeatedly. Waheia.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Okay. I'm bad with real names of real people, so I'm trying my best.
I know. She's been calling me Kelsea since we met. That's like it's time. It's time. It's been years.
All right, now it's just malicious. No.
Yeah, it's starting to feel personal.
So you guys, it'll take you about half a day to walk there. But you can make it by dawn.
Okay. Shall we make our way?
Allons-y.
Allons-y. Let's hit the road.
Perfect. So you guys are gonna journey to Waheia's house. I don't know if I would call it a house, but you're going to journey to their home. It's gonna take you a while, so I'm gonna say that so you're traveling through the forest at night. So there is a chance that you're gonna run into some dangerous things. Kelsea, why don't you just roll me a d20? I just want to see what you roll.
So that's gonna be a 9.
Okay. You were originally following a trail that led you towards the river, and you know that Waheia's house is going to be west. And so do you want to travel through the thick forest to get there, or do you want to walk along the river where the tree line is a little less thick?
I think walking along the river makes more sense for everyone involved.
So that'll make a difference. So you decide to continue following the trail you found earlier and it ends at the river. So you make it as far as the river, and that's where you're not quite sure if they went west, if they went east, if they crossed the river. So Delaelia, you live here. You would know that this is the River Porvita, Porvita. It flows all the way from the northern sea to the southern bay, and it is the last barrier between the rest of Merrill and the industrialized world, the non-forest world. So this is a pretty big landmark. It's pretty significant. So you're walking along the river, and it's actually pretty nice during the earlier part of the day. It's a little bit rocky, but for the most part, you keep your footing. It's a pleasant, it's a pleasant experience walking alongside the river. As the Cherry Bloom, Theia, I've combined. Okay, Theia, your friend Cherry Bloom has stuck around with you guys.
Aw.
So, and as you walk along the river, following the Woodward, Master Woodward, Cherry Bloom skips and dances along the rocks and plays about. He's having fun, and as the sun begins to set, the sun begins to set, things get a little bit scarier. You guys all can see in the dark, can't you?
Yeah.
So maybe it's not so bad because you all have dark vision. So things, it gets a little bit darker, but you're still able to see where you're going. And actually, because you have exited the canopy of the trees, you can see the stars up above you. It's actually quite beautiful. Theia, can you make me a perception check?
Yes. Oh, it's under me again. I can't see it.
It's a
Hold on.
14.
Oh, okay.
So as you are all walking alongside the river, Theia, you happen to glance up at the sky because it's beautiful. Why wouldn't you? It's so clear and lovely. The moon, not quite full now, but it shines bright up above. There's no clouds in the sky. And Theia, as you are walking along, you happen to notice a particularly bright star, and you just have a thought that comes to your head. You just have a thought that says in your mind, like, oh, that's the wishing star. That's all. You just have a thought like, oh, that's the wishing star.
Should I make a wish?
I mean, you can if you want to.
Hey, do you guys see that star up there?
Yeah.
Oh, the wishing star? Yes.
Yeah, have you ever made a wish on it?
Well, to Delaelia, I was gonna say, Delaelia, when she says that, it's a star. Your community doesn't see that as a wishing star, so you wouldn't.
Okay.
No.
Yes, I see it. I see that exceptionally bright star. That is not a planet.
Is that stupid? I don't
Of
know.
course not.
No.
No.
Wish on it. Make a wish.
Wishes are important.
Okay, well, I'm
All the
making
best stories have one.
I guess.
Do you have to make your wish privately?
I mean,
I'll cover my ears.
I'm not gonna say it out loud. I can just think it.
What?
It's fine. I already made my wish. Let's keep moving. It's fine.
I love that Thea's so self-conscious.
And Feliks is still covering its ears. I imagine that he's just standing there, and you guys keep walking. And he's
Are
just
you
like,
done? I'm just gonna follow. Okay.
She's just monologuing a wish for minutes and minutes. It's a soliloquy.
It's a
That might have been the best joke I've ever made. You guys witnessed it.
Oh. So you're walking along under the stars. Now, Delaelia, you, as you're walking along, you hear a rustle in the tree line to your right, up ahead. Because you can't be surprised, right? When you're in the forest, you always sense danger as a ranger.
Mhm.
Danger,
Yes.
ranger.
Danger, danger. So I stopped them in spy language, and I investigate it, and I'm hoping to be stealthy. Is my goal.
All right, roll stealth for me and describe for me what you're trying to do.
So tiptoe to a point where I can see what's over there. What?
Through the tulips?
By the window in the garden.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be.
So I have a ukulele out. I'm singing. Okay, so I stealthed 23.
Hell yeah.
And then I investigated. Not as well. Oh, damn! 18. I investigated 18.
Fantastic. Delaelia heads towards the tree line. She tells Feliks and Princess Theia to wait. And as you approach the tree line, Delaelia, you hear the familiar sound of, it's a kind of grunting sound, but you can tell that what is up ahead is an owlbear. And it seems actually like it's a rather large owlbear, and then maybe like a smaller owlbear with it, coming through the brush and actually headed towards where you are right now.
A fucking infestation of owlbears in this story. Okay. Do I recognize the little owlbear? Is it our friend?
I'm gonna say that. Do owlbears have distinguishing marks that you think you could recognize it by? Is there anything you think you could recognize it by? You could assume. I don't know if you would know for sure that it
Wouldn't
was
that be
your friend.
awful if Delaelia was like, "Oh, I know that owlbear," like just because it is an owlbear? Awful.
You could find out if it's the owlbear that you know.
Okay. I'm going to ask. No, it's such a risk. Okay, I'm going to. I want to go see if it's the owlbear that we know. I want to. Oh, duh. Okay. It so doesn't matter, but I'm going to cast Animal Friendship on the
Okay.
mother. And then I'm going to approach it.
Let me just double check and see what an owlbear's intelligence is.
Mm-hmm.
I know last time I had a hard time finding it, but that's because I was dumb and I didn't name the file Owlbear.
You're not dumb. Don't talk about my friend that way.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks.
That's my friend too. I
You know
wonder
what?
if Ryan would bring me cookies.
Oh, I have cookies.
I bet he
Can you
would.
give them
I
to
did-
me?
Ooh, Delaelia, it doesn't, your spell works. That's what I'm trying to say. Its intelligence is less than 4, so your spell works.
Yay! Okay.
Don't worry, we'll take a cookie break at some point. So Delaelia, your spell works. I want you to describe for us what Delaelia does.
So she closes her eyes and casts the spell, muttering under her breath to do it. And once she sees, she's confident that it works. So she approaches and very calmly speaking in Sylvan or whatever, common, says, "Hey, Mama. Hey, is this the baby that we saw earlier?" And I want to go like to the baby to see if it like responds to me.
Wonderful. So Delaelia approaches the owlbear and casts her spell. And I think at first the mama owlbear turns around startled and kind of like steps back a little bit and rears up. But then as your spell takes effect, you can see the mother owlbear physically relax. And it click grunts at you at first. And it takes its head and turns it down towards its cub and kind of nestles it. And the cub sees you, Delaelia, and it kind of gets excited and it jumps a little bit and runs over to you and is like squawking.
Yay.
It's squawking and running around.
Cute.
So and the owlbear turns to you. I guess it'll just talk to you. Yeah, because the baby talked to you. And the owlbear mother turns to you and she says, "Thank you for returning my child to me, friend."
Thank you for. Oh, I'm so glad that that they're already home with you. I didn't know how quickly Commander Krista would be able to find you.
Is there anything that I can do to repay you, protector of owlbears?
The only thing that I need is knowing that you will continue to be a perfect mother for this baby.
And the little owlbear it's chirping happily, and you can't hear what it's saying because you didn't cast a spell on it, but you can assume that it's saying like, "Yay, this is Delaelia, she saved me!" Chirp,
Yay!
And the
Cute.
mother owlbear says, "Where are you venturing to this evening?"
We are going to Waheia's house. Awful. Is it like a place?
It's a treehouse.
Oh, okay. We're going to the treehouse in the northwest woods. Maybe you recognize it.
Tree house? We're going to a tree house? Sorry, I'm excited.
So Waheia's just like me when I grow up, I think.
I want to know if Princess Theia is saying that, like ducking her head like into the clearing of like just so. Have Feliks and Theia stayed where they were, or did they follow after Delaelia? Did you guys get curious?
Oh, we definitely followed her. 110%. Like, we're hanging back. I mean, I don't know about you, Feliks, but I am curious.
Did Feliks follow too?
Oh yes, no, they all definitely. We're just peeking through a bush, just like a tree house.
It's Feliks and Theia, and then the Woodward, and then the cherry blossom, and then Ramsey's head comes out underneath Feliks.
Are they stacked? Like an intentional stack? Okay, cute.
Oh my god.
And I say, look, it's our baby friend.
Oh, look at that.
So does it seem like the Owlbear mother knows where that is?
She says, the forest can be a dangerous... I'm going to try to give her a voice. The forest can be a dangerous place at night.
I liked
Is that a winner?
It was a Justin-y kind of character voice, and I liked it.
Oh,
yeah.
The forest can be a dangerous place at night. Let me accompany you so that no one gives you any trouble.
It would be much appreciated, my lady.
And because you saved the baby Owlbear last session, you now can pass through the forest in the night without having a dangerous encounter. Your actions have positive consequences in the world.
Yay!
And I don't say C to Theia, but I also like imply C to Theia.
Yeah, cool.
So wait, the bear's coming with us too? The Owlbear's coming with us too? I have no idea what you were saying to each other. There was just a whole lot of grunting, but you know, it seemed positive.
And when we walk through the forest, can we do that one song from Follow Me Boys? Like the I can't whistle that high.
I can't whistle either.
Yes.
Do 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 do. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a montage.
Cool.
There's definitely a travel montage. I was imagining the song from Brother Bear,
Cute.
where they're like,
Tell everybody I'm on my way.
and it's like the baby Owlbear is stepping along.
Cute.
And the Owlbear become friends. I don't know.
Hey guys,
You
ever tried to sing in unison via Zoom? Because it's hilarious. I think we should try that.
I think we should try it too.
I'm on my way.
All right, how are we gonna start?
3, 2, 1, and tell
everybody I'm on my way. New places to
It was
see.
really well. I don't know it, so I was just
what are the words?
And it's really cute because there's a baby bear cub, and then you learn that it's mama's. Never mind.
What?
But it's really cute. You should watch Brother Bear if you haven't watched Brother Bear. There's a second one too. It's very much in line with this about like learning to trust nature and like not just like assume that bears are bad guys.
What is it produced by?
Disney.
Oh, then I can watch it on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
I'm sure. Okay.
The all
I'll check it
powerful
out.
Disney.
Everyone gets to pick one thing that happens during the montage.
So I'm gonna have the Owlbear on my shoulders. The baby one, not the mom.
I love it.
And it's
Hanging
cute.
out with Cherry Bloom. He's messing with his skirt.
Cute.
Well, since it's night, Feliks isn't going to be riding Ramsey because Ramsey doesn't see as well in the dark. But Ramsey has, in fact, goat parkoured himself on top of the tree.
The Woodward.
The Woodward. And so Ramsey's just sitting on the Woodward while they're going through the forest because that poor goat can't see a thing right now.
It's Delaelia with the Owlbear on her shoulders, and then the Woodward with Ramsey on top of him. It's adorable.
And Feliks is just trying not to get stepped on. This is a lot of people on the road right now.
Also, it's like a perfect vignette if anyone wanted to draw it. There's lots of different heights.
I'm writing. That's what I'm doing right now is I'm writing down everything.
No hints, but
Fan art, fan art, fan art.
Fart.
Did you see that I used that hashtag, Kelsea?
I was so excited. I did see. We're making it happen, moving and a shaking, fart.
So you guys montage your way to Waheia's treehouse. As you draw closer, the mama owlbear and the baby owlbear part ways with you because they know that you'll be safe now. So they say goodbye and they head back into the forest. And I believe Cherry Bloom will hang out with you a little while longer.
Hello. This is your DM, Emma Carter here. I'd like to take a moment to thank you, the listener, for pressing play. And an extra big thank you to those who've shared the podcast or rated and left us a review. Remember, if you share the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and tag us, I'll put your name on my NPC naming list. And I'll love you. Like, a lot. 2 episodes ago, I announced that we would be doing a listener cameo contest in June. We will still be doing that contest. We're just pushing it back until July, so stay tuned. I'd like to wish a happy Pride Month to all of our LGBTQIA+ listeners. We've got some special Pride artwork coming your way, courtesy of our resident artist and player, the amazing, the beautiful Rebecca Munoz-Smith. We'd also like to wish a happy Juneteenth to all who will be celebrating this year. All right, before we head back into the story, I want to preemptively apologize to any French or Russian-speaking listeners. I will be doing my best to utilize a French-ish accent with an upcoming character. Just keep in mind, I'm doing my best. Heads up, there are some Game of Thrones final season spoilers ahead. But if you haven't seen it yet, you probably already know what happened anyway. All right, let's get back to our heroes.
That's the one thing about Parks and Rec that I could never get behind is I don't like how mean everyone is to Jerry, and I know that that's the joke.
It's a joke, but I don't get it. Like,
I
to
don't
me,
get it.
I understand that is the joke, but it's not funny, so what are we doing?
Right? That's why I was so happy in the episode where he became the mayor at the end, and like
I
you
know,
find out that he has a well-endowed body. Like those
Mhm.
things that kind of like it's like, well, the joke's on them because
But that's honestly that's what I like about Jerry because the whole time it's like he has this gorgeous wife and this perfect family and he is wonderfully happy and these people are just such assholes to him and I think it's hilarious.
That's kind of a better, I guess, if I think about the fact that he's actually happy because he has a good life with his family, it makes me feel a little bit better. But I just always feel even it's a little easier in Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Scully and Hitchcock because they're written to just be so awful.
They're in their dicks too. Like
Yeah.
it's not they're in on the joke a little bit, whereas it feels like what's his name Jerry isn't in on the joke.
Gary Larry.
I mean, I've been binge watching. I just finished watching all of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it did take it's still one of the things that I don't like about the show is how mean everyone is to each other. Like I'm just like, and like, but like they pointed out in the show is that their lives and their business would actually be a lot better if they would just be nice to each other. Yeah, but they can't, and so they can't succeed.
It almost makes it okay for me because they're also awful and they get what they deserve. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing I like is that I'm like, well, it's like unlike Seinfeld where like, you know, Seinfeld and usually Kramer could just get away with anything. And like, you know, they can be terrible people, but they still come out kind of on top in the end. In this one, it's like, no, if you're a terrible person, you get exactly what you deserve in this show. And so that's the one thing, and I think it's the one reason I could keep watching it. But like Archer, like everybody's yelling at each other, screaming at each other, and I'm just like, this just makes me stressed. Like I don't like this at all.
It's sad.
Like, it's not fun to watch people be mean to each other.
You know, at the end, you guys have all seen Game of Thrones through the end, yes? You know, at the end when she like has a moment where she could have chosen mercy, but she just burns everything down. I get it. Our system is broken. Like, I'm not gonna burn anything down. I don't
Yeah.
have that in me. But in that moment when she just like screamed and then decided to burn shit down, I was like, I'm upset, but I'm mostly upset because I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to our podcast.
Yeah, back to D&D. Back to the
Back to the
world
better
that
world.
we can control.
Yes, a world that we can control.
That's its like subtitle. Spellbound, a world that we can control.
Eventually, your party comes to the fork in the river. Delaelia will know this river to be Porvita. It flows all the way from the northern sea, past the boundaries of Merrill, into the swampy land of the Waste. It is the last barrier between the rest of Merrill and the industrialized world. Nestled between a slit in River Porvita stands a large camphor tree. From this angle, now that you've found a clearing, you can also see behind the tree the stone-cold mountain range rising up behind it. Master Woodward stops at the edge of the river and waits. In the light of the dawn, which is now the sun is just starting to rise over the horizon, the three of you watch as the water of the Porvita River splits and parts, creating a small trench through which you can cross at this point. With the water separated, you see underneath the surface a very basic bridge has been constructed to make crossing the silty bottom of the river easier. What do you do?
Should we go?
I'm familiar with this? Okay, so we go across.
Okay.
I motion for the Woodward to go in front of us.
Is the bridge mossy at all? Because I have a bad history with moss.
It's very slimy.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Felix is not going to get on the back of Ramsey. He's already taken one tumble.
I'm gonna walk very slowly and deliberately and try not to fall in the slime. But I'm probably gonna fall in the slime.
Should we make a dexterity check?
Sure. Everyone make a dexterity check. Or
I'm
athletic.
sorry for suggesting it.
Okay, yeah, way to go.
Sorry. Oh, shit. See, this is what I get. I rolled a 5, which is now a 7.
Princess Theia.
We are not doing well. We are not doing well. Of course. Okay.
Delaelia
All right.
got a 20.
Thea got a 2.
So I want you to
Yeah.
actually tell me how this goes down. I'm going to say the order is the Woodward is leading the way, and then it's Delaelia, and then Princess Theia and Feliks, and Cherry Bloom sort of just flying around. I want you to describe for me how this goes down. Delaelia, you first.
Okay, so I confidently walk across the bridge and make it to the other side.
Can you roll me a perception check real quick?
How is that for role playing? Uh-huh.
Spotless. Stunning.
So for perception, I got a 17.
Okay, so let me give you some flavor. Think of this like that scene from Moana where the water is around her, and you can see like little fish in the river, like swimming by, and you know it's a river, it's not an ocean, so there's not like clownfish or coral in it or anything, but it's cool because you can see even Feliks and Princess Theia would notice that there's some fish on either side of them. Delaelia, though, Kelsea, as you are walking through this water passage, which you have crossed multiple times before, you actually notice something a little bit different. There's a bit of a smell.
Uh-oh. Like a fishy, briny smell?
Kind of like a little bit of like a sulfur rotten egg smell.
Oh no.
You notice there's this little bit of a smell.
That's
The
not
Missouri
good.
River.
Yeah. It's Doherty. Okay.
And that's what you notice as you cross. Princess Theia, are you there? No rush.
Yes.
With her 3, she died.
Sorry.
Princess Theia, describe for me your passage through the bridge.
So I'm gonna let you know that I personally, Lydia, when I was 8, fell in 3 separate lakes on one like 5-day trip to Minnesota. So Theia is probably coordinated like myself. And I'm gonna say that it's like a slippery, slidey, like trying to ice skate across the moss, like knees like pigeon-toed type deal. And there's at some point I'm just gonna slip and fall on my ass. And then I think from there I'm gonna crawl the rest of the way.
Just crawling.
Just
Your first time seeing a river.
I love that, like, the first time Thea's left her home, she's just fucking destroyed. Like, her clothes are filthy.
She's probably covered in mud by this
Yeah.
point. At least moss. But
environment.
This is not your safe place.
What'd you say, Lydia?
I said, this is what happens when you lock people away and don't let them experience the world.
So Thea's crawling along the floor of the bridge. Feliks, how does Feliks cross this bridge with his 7? So not as bad.
yeah. Felix is he's walking along, but because goats are not particularly known to be water treading creatures. I mean, they can, but it's not the greatest. And they're walking through it. So Ramses is a little freaked out by this. So I'd say Feliks is a little hampered. Like he's kind of more or less pulling the goat through the river than anything. And also, since Princess Theia is in front of him, when she falls, he tries to catch her. Does not work. He pretty much just misses. He just misses her, and so she falls in front of him. And so it just kind of turned into this mess of him trying to help her up and her giving up and crawling, and him just kind of walking in the background, pulling his goat, just like, he's just like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Like, he feels bad because he failed to catch her.
Oh, Feliks.
She's a princess, and she just fell on her ass, and he could have caught her, and he missed. Like,
When you fall, Theia, I think Cherry Bloom comes over and they sit on your back. He sits on your back as you crawl, and he tries to take whatever gunk is in your hair out of your hair, whatever slime from the river might have gotten into your hair. So yeah, you guys have crossed the river. As you approach the tree, you can appreciate its majesty even more. It's clear that this tree is very old. It has a gnarled trunk so wide it would probably take 15 to 20 humans holding hands just to wrap around the entire thing. The leaves are a bright green, and in the light of the dawn, you can see that they are so plentiful on this tree that they give it a sort of poofy appearance. The woodward leads you closer, and now you can see the leaves are actually shiny and waxy in appearance, and that there are little white flowers that have begun to sprout from the tree. Beneath the tree, you find a large, well-organized garden with a variety of vegetation already fully ripened. Theia, you and Feliks, you both might realize upon seeing this that the seasons perhaps don't affect Meryl in the same way as it does the rest of Eos. You see carrots, cabbages, strawberries, beans, squash. Ramsey is probably quite tempted.
mm-hmm.
There is also a fire pit located on the opposite side of the tree from the garden, near the river. The woodward looks at you expectantly, Delaelia, and you would know from experience that the only way up the tree is to climb the tree using natural knots and footholds. But Waheia does have a sort of dumbwaiter that they use to haul up supplies. It could probably support one person at a time if you wanted to take Princess Theia and Feliks up as well.
Because we're clumsy.
So the traditional way up this tree is to climb it, and you could follow my footholds if you'd like, but if you need to, I can try to lift you up in this dumbwaiter.
I'll try and climb it.
I will also say it is a very tall tree. It's a towering tree. Like a
dumbwaiter. Feliks just heads straight over to the dumbwaiter. He's like, no, that's really high. I'll take the. I'll wait for you to lift me up, if you don't mind.
I'm so stubborn.
You can try, Princess Theia.
I really want to
Might as
try.
well try, right?
I really
gonna
want to try.
All right. So why don't you, Theia and Delaelia, why don't you roll me, let's do athletics because you're pulling yourself. You're using your upper body strength to pull yourself
Oh
up.
God,
And Delaelia, you are someone who can like normally climb trees. So I wasn't even gonna make you roll Delaelia because I feel like a ranger should just be able to climb a tree, and you've climbed this tree
And one that
before.
I've met before several times.
So I'm gonna say Delaelia can just get up there.
Well, I
wasn't
rolled a
gonna-
21,
Clearly
so-
she can.
What
I
did Theia
dare
roll?
say.
Oh no, Theia
Leah
rolled a-
did roll. Yeah, Leah, I did it too.
it's fine. I'm used to it. I rolled a 4.
Which
So,
is a 2.
I'm gonna say I probably, I don't know, tried to follow footholds and couldn't even get off the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Delaelia is hopping up there right quick. She knows what she's doing. She's done this before, but Theia.
It's pretty Legolasy, right? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
Alright.
say. Are you doing like the anime Naruto thing where she's like just
Yeah.
not
I
even
hate
trying?
you.
Hey, to be fair, you're a princess. When have you had to use upper body strength and climb like that? I mean, to be fair,
mhm.
don't beat yourself up too much.
I hope you're learning your lesson.
What lesson is that?
The one that all women your age need to learn, and it's that you suck. And should be embarrassed and self-conscious all the time moving forward.
Oh, you're just gonna make me more stubborn.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Theia, you try to climb the tree, but you fall right on your butt again. You
God,
don't
it's
even
gotta
get
be
a
bruised
foot.
by now.
It's quite bruised. And I think the Master Woodward comes over and they extend you a hand to help you up.
Thanks.
And they just
There's room on the dumbwaiter.
I'll wait. It doesn't look like it can hold that much. You know what? You and Ramsey go first. I'll meet you up there.
Oh, Ramsey's gonna stay on the ground.
Oh, right, because trees.
I'm not gonna try. He's not gonna try and put Ramsey in a elevator that lifts off the ground. He doesn't see that going well.
Okay, well, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
So, Delaelia, you Naruto up that tree, and you enter Waheia's tree house. But as you enter the tree house, Delaelia, you see it looks empty. It looks like there's nobody in there. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh no. Well, there are worse saving throws to have to make. Damn! It's a 9, but only because I have 4 plus 4. Yeah, so I rolled a 5, that's a 9.
So you enter the treehouse and you're looking around looking for Waheia, and all of a sudden you get whacked in the back of the head. And it's not like a super hard whack, but it's like you've been hit on the back of a head with a staff. And then you see maybe your vision like goes stars for a moment, and then in front of you you see your mentor, Waheia, standing there with their arms crossed, looking at you. I was thinking about trying an accent with Waheia, but I wasn't sure what you were picturing. I don't know.
Whatever you think, whatever you have instincts of, I don't have any
I almost
ideas.
wanted to make her Russian.
Love it. Into it.
So
Oh my
Waheia
God.
stands in front of you and they say, "You're growing slow, Delaelia."
And I, like, my face gets hot, but not because I'm embarrassed, but because I'm emotional. And I bow down in front of Waheia and I say, "Teacher, so much has happened since I left.
Why don't you gather your friends and you can tell me? Maybe now she's German. Why don't you gather your
Love it.
friends and you can tell me?"
I will do that." And so I go and gather them.
So Feliks goes up first. Feliks, it is it's like an elevator except there's no walls. You're up in the air. Nothing to stop you from falling out. You can see everything though. You can see above the tree line. You can see the whole forest stretched out. You can even see In the distance, you can see the figure of the outline of the palace.
Oh, fun.
It's pretty far in the distance, but you see it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, should I make like a perception check? As like,
You can
let's
make
see
a
if I can see.
perception check if he's not afraid and he's looking around.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's I wouldn't say he's afraid, but he is rightfully nervous. Like he's on his hands and knees on the platform. Like, you know, he's like, he doesn't want to risk any chance of toppling over, but he is getting a really good look around because he's never been this tall. He's never been this high off the ground. Like this is a sight to see. So yeah, he's gonna look around. So yeah, 17.
Wonderful. So yeah, Felix, you see the entire forest stretched out before you. You can see past you can see how far you have traveled, Felix. You see where Highguard on the horizon, and then the valley is past that, and it's really you have a sense of accomplishment as you realize how far, like literally physically how far you have come in just the last 2 days. And I think that gives Felix a little bit of a boost if he was feeling a little bit down about himself today, being up like this. It's a real morale boost for him because he's come a long way. Maybe no gnome has ever come this far. At least no gnome of his clan, of his tribe.
Yeah.
And you enter the tree house, and you are safe. You make it safely to the floor. The floor.
Yeah, he quickly gets off the thing and just, oh, thank God.
And then I guess you guys send it back down to Princess Theia. So Princess Theia, the dumbwaiter comes back down, and it's your turn, and the Woodward's just looking at you expectantly.
I guess it's my turn. So I'll climb on.
And you do. And it starts going up as Delaelia and Felix are pulling you up. And now you too also experience what it is like to be lifted into the air, high into the air with no walls to stop you from falling out.
I like heights. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I'm used to my tower.
And you too see Highguard off in the distance, and you see how far that your party has traveled. So you all make it to the top of the tree. And I'll describe for you what you see. So Waheia is utilitarian and operates in a way that is fully self-sustainable. They live off the grid from modern elven society. Their home is an extremely well-crafted treehouse with floor and walls made of branches tied together. The roof is a tarp made of a bamboo-like material. And Delaelia, you would know this roof is only ever unfurled in case of rainy weather. So perhaps Waheia knows that it's going to rain later. The contents of the home are minimalistic. You see simple items, most of which you can assume were made by Waheia. A bowl, 2 cups, a table, 2 chairs, an animal skin cloak. There's a bookshelf, a trunk, a hammock strung between 2 branches, a staff, which Waheia is holding now, and also a bow and a quiver has been placed. Everything is crafted in a way that it's working with the tree. It doesn't appear like anything has been nailed into the tree or the tree has been harmed in any way. They have made their home in a way that it embraces what was already there. And it feels less like a home and more almost like a campsite. It feels more like a treehouse than a cozy home. You can imagine that they probably really only do come here to sleep and to eat. One of the few items of decoration you can detect is a small set of wind chimes that tinkle in the breeze, the gentle breeze outside. So, Waheia, you all 3 approach, and you can see standing in front of you Delaelia's mentor, whom you have heard so much about. They are an older elven woman. Elves don't age at the same rate as humans. They can actually live to be 700 years old, over 700 years old, really. So to see an elf that actually looks aged must mean that this elf has lived much longer than any of you. And just, to be fair, Waheia has aged very gracefully. I'm not saying that they look haggard by any means.
They look great.
They look great, but you can just tell that they're a little bit older. Waheia is about 5'5", with long white hair, half of which is pulled back into a series of braids, while the rest drops down their back. They have coppery skin, pronounced cheekbones, and silvery gray eyes. Their frame is similar to Delalia's, but even a bit smaller and thinner. Think of someone the size of Kristen Chenoweth. Waheia is
small person.
Yes, small but mighty. Waheia is clad in brown animal hide and cloths of green and brown. The most noticeable item on their person, or the most noticeable clothing piece that they are wearing, is a fur cloak made of what looks like the hide of a giant badger, complete with a badger head hood.
Wait, is Waheia Hufflepuff?
You'll have to wait and see, and then you can make your decision what you think. Waheia stands holding their staff, and they look at the three of you, and they say, "Have a seat. There is much to discuss."
And I sit down immediately.
Yeah,
and there's only
Felix
two
does too.
chairs, just so you know, there's only 2 chairs.
I sit cross-legged on the ground. I already know.
Gonna sit next to Delaelia, cross-legged on the ground.
Trying to be cool. Yes.
Trying to be cool, guys. Just don't make it weird.
Oh, Felix is making it weird. He doesn't know what to do now. Because there's chairs, but everyone's sitting on the floor, so he's very confused. He sits in a chair.
Delaelia, I was informed that they're French now. Delaelia.
We're on a journey.
You know what? It's just one of those vague Euro accents. It can go anywhere. It's Elven.
Johnny Depp has one of those. He doesn't sound American. He sounds.
And so does Madonna.
Yeah, they're from all over the place.
Waheia actually crosses over to the table in the room, and so Felix, you would be near this. And actually, I should have said on the table is a deer carcass. And Waheia, they take the carcass and they lift it and they bring it to the center of the floor so that everyone can see. And they take out a hunting knife and they slice along the side of the deer. And as they do so, Delaelia, as they pull the knife back, you can see that rather than blood, there is a sort of black, sludgy goo coming from this carcass. And they look at you.
What's wrong with it?
I do not know. There is something poisoning the forest. I do not know where, but we must find out.
I noticed that poor Vita smells bad. Have you noticed this?
Waheia nods. There is something wrong with the river, perhaps from upstream, but I hunted this deer south of the river, southeast in Mariel.
Was Theia there when, or had Theia already been taken away when Duke Roger slit the...
She was already taken away.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
weren't
there,
in the
though.
room.
Was I there?
Delaelia was.
Delaelia
yeah,
was
just,
there.
you were in the room. Me
There
and
was
Was it
black
just regular
goo.
blood?
No, it was black goo.
It was?
Yeah.
Thank you. Metagame. So I tell Waheia that. I say that we are here because we're trying to find Theia's brother, who was captured, taken captive by a Owlbear. And there were several of them that came into Highguard. One of them we captured and her uncle killed, and out of it came that same substance.
This is bad. Delaelia, we must find out what is harming the river and poisoning the animals. You said there are Owlbears in the forest.
in the forest and elsewhere. We found they were in Highguard.
Where have they gone? Do you know?
We were tracking them, and we tracked them to the river, and then we got off of it because we found some poachers that had stolen some baby animals.
Ugh. And you see Waheia scowl at the mention of poachers.
We took care of them.
And they smile proudly at you. You and your... And they gesture to Theia and Feliks because we haven't really done introductions.
You haven't, yeah. Oh, I am so sorry. This is Princess Theia of Highguard and the hero, Feliks.
Feliks.
And Waheia bows their head, nods their head to you, Feliks. And to Theia, they nod their head and they say, "You are the princess of Highguard."
Was. I'm probably not anymore. I kind of got banished for magic.
I don't want to speak ill of her people, but she was more of a prisoner there than anything. Magic obviously comes naturally, and they were squelching it down and forcing her to be something that she is not.
They think that's what killed my mom.
I think you should tell me the whole story from the beginning.
Smelly water, black goo. What does it mean? And what does any of this have to do with Prince Dashing? Find out next time on Spellbound. Songs in this week's episode include Spellbound by Vindsvept on bandcamp.com, Magic Forest, River Flute, Evening Fall, Harp, Cherry Blossom, Investigations, Dragon and Toast, Willow and Light by Kevin MacLeod of incomptech.filmmusic.io. All other music by Alexander Nakarada of Serpent Sound Studios. All sound effects from zapsplat.com. Links and license in the description. Until next time.
Cookies!
Cookie break!